emotions cannot be intertwined with robots.
Writing is something which actually can take you ahead in life in so many ways.
Yeah, if it would be drizzling and there would be a drop of rain dripping from a leaf, you'd make a poetry out of that.
Are you okay?
Writing at 2 a.m. with sad music.
What happened to the cat?
The cat is doing a meow meow. And yeah,
Kicking it. Jaxa, you must be not having that problem.
no.
Young people, I'm worried. Hi and welcome to another edition of Boca Bites, and here we are in Boca Bookstore, which is a relatively new addition to the Boca family. Most of you must be knowing that Boca means, in fact, Boca reads books, office, coffee, culture and art. So nowadays we are more about books because we have started this new bookstore, and it's a huge hit now because people are reading books, buying books. So it's maybe we've started a sort of a revolution again of buying and reading books, because that, I think, mostly in the younger generation, that has become a lost art. And we have today with us three amazing ladies, because not only do they like reading books, they like buying books, and two of them have written some amazing books on poetry. So they've written poetry. So we of course have Ananya Tiwari, and she with her co-author, and co-author is not here in this session. Neheli Saxena is not here. We'll call us some other day. Ananya is here with us, and her poetry book of poems called Sky, right?
Yeah.
So Ananya is here, and we have Aparajita Mahapatra with her book of poems, Verse Voyages, a Wordsmith's Odyssey. And of course, we have somebody, a celebrity, right? Diksha Tiwari. She's a journalist, writer, presenter, sports management expert. I know she wears so many hats. So welcome Diksha, welcome Aparajita, and
Thank
welcome
you.
Ananya
Thank you.
to this session of Boca Bites, and we call it the Ink Readables. So, and we will start with Ananya.
Okay.
This amazing book, and I'm sorry, I'll be very honest, I have not read all your poems, but I find a spark here and maybe whispers there. So this is part of your book of poems. Out of this book of poems, which do you think is your favorite poem and why?
Okay. I mean, there's not one particular favorite, right? When you've written all of them and you've put effort into all of these, there's not one favorite, but okay, the last two poems, that would actually be one of my most favorite ones, because throughout the book, what me and my co-author have done is that we've tried to keep similar POVs. Like there would be a similar kind of topic and we'd write our point of view about it. So the last two poems, I think those would be my favorite, because
The Sky's Goodbye and The Last Night.
The Last Light and Sky's Goodbye, because they're very similar. It's kind of like saying goodbye with our book. That's why the last poem is called The Sky's Goodbye. They're both about sunsets and, a great scenery. And somehow, coincidentally, they've been very similar. So I love reading those two.
Fantastic. And when you buy the book Sky, you should start from the last two poems, or you should
No.
start from the beginning?
Start from the beginning, go in the exact order.
But something comes to my mind and must be coming to the minds of the audience, the live audience we have here, and our online audience. How do two people author a book on poems? I mean, I think no poetry is actually dedicated to a single author, though both of you are there. How did you collaborate on the poems?
Well, I think it was just an idea at first that we wanted to try something, because we've both been writing a lot of poems. So we just wanted to keep it as a memory for ourselves that, okay, we've done something together, because she's also my best friend.
Okay.
So, a kind of memory. So then we thought on the idea, and then we decided, okay, let's compare our poems. What kind of poetry do we both write? In some places, it's the style of writing, of course. Our style of writing is very different. but the overall thought process, the kind of ideas we have, it's quite similar. And so it was easy to do that. We just compared our poems. It ended up that we have very similar ideas, the POVs and all. It's either like we have very similar poems, or it's the same topic, but we have completely opposite point of views about that. So we decided to, okay, let's collaborate it. In fact, the doodles, there are some doodles on the poems. So she did those herself, and then we decided ki we'll write these poems, and whatever similar ones we have, we'll keep them side by side instead of keeping it section wise, that there's one section with my poems and then another with hers.
Right.
We'll keep a nice back and forth so that the readers can also be engaged with the different styles.
So have you tried out like one paragraph is written by you and another by her?
No,
and
we did not do that. That would have been a bit too complicated for us, with the
This
different
itself
styles.
is, I mean, technically, I mean, we are all discussing here in Book Bookstore because we are all wondering that young people are not reading books. I mean, not enough. Because books are a way of actually imagining things like no other media can give you, right? When you read books or read poems, it actually makes the human mind think and imagine more that nothing else can do. So you have done an amazing job of first writing at this young age and collaborating. So this also gives us sort of a spark to a lot of writers who want to collaborate with friends. I mean, we collaborate on Instagram. We do so much. So why not in poems? It's
Yeah.
could be a little more productive and original. So great, Ananya. We'll talk more about your how you started on this book and what's coming next. So Aparita, welcome once again to Boka Bites.
Thank you.
So this book of poems, is this your first book?
Yeah, this is my first book.
So what inspired you to write at first?
Writing is something that is not an inspiration per se for me. It, I'd say, comes naturally to me. I remember I was not very much of a talkative person. I mean, not like talkative person. I used to talk a lot, but then when it comes about talking about feelings, there comes a hint of intensity, and I think that is where I falter. So that is when I pursued just writing in my diary. I think that is how eventually I learned forms of writing. It's not only writing about my feelings, but I can put it into rhythm. So I remember my first poem was, I think it was something about life and how everything, like the weather changes. It was inspired by the seasons. So I think that's how I began my journey.
Wonderful. So do you think your poems are intense, like your thoughts or the way you think?
I would say some are again very light, because when the years grew by, I learned that writing also could be fun. It would be something that I would be expressing my feelings, but it also would be something which would make me feel nice about myself. So I think there is a hint of happiness and a hint of angst.
So I think a lot of creative people have that shadow around them, which I think helps them. So I think your second last poem is Daffodil. And if you know Daffodils, the very famous painting by Vincent van Gogh.
Yeah,
We
I
know
do.
the story about Vincent van Gogh because he suffered a lot. And there's a song about Vincent van Gogh also. So, and he became famous only after he passed away or his paintings started selling. So, do you really think empathy or high high emotions are important to write poems, or it can also be a little I won't say superficial is the right kind of word, but you can also be quite relaxed and it can just flow from your pen.
As I said, poems are various kinds. There are free verses, there are sonnets, and it depends upon the emotions of the person who is penning it. So, poems are a way of expressing oneself, and it becomes a poem when somebody else can relate to it. So, as long as it is relatable, as long as it is something which satisfies you, gratifies another, I think it's a poem.
So when you first started writing, you published later, of course. So you must have tried. Please have your coffee. Boka serves the coffee.
Thank you.
So when you first started writing poems, at what age did you start? Maybe you started writing for yourself first.
I think I was 12.
Well,
Just 12.
So, any of those poems you had written at the age of 12 are in this book? None of them. So, would you like to go back to those poems and publish it someday?
I would very much love to. This book was actually a challenge. When I got the offer to publish a book, I was said that I had to write fresh 15 poems, and it was a 15-day challenge. So every day, 15 poems. And writing, as I said, it's not an inspiration, it just comes naturally. So writing something, getting up, it was really difficult because I have to get into, a certain kind of, like, if my mom's scolding me, I'm really sad. If I'm having a bad fight with my friends, I'm really sad. Or something great is happening, I'm winning an award, I'm really happy. I have to be the epitome of some kind of feeling to write something. So that was like a very big challenge for me. So that is how that book was spent, 15 days. And yes, I would, if I get another chance, which I will in the future, hopefully, I would bring back those poems which I had written when I had no sense of wordings, when I had no sense of rhythm. It was just pure feelings.
Wonderful. We'll again come back to you and we'll discuss, because we have a very nice audience here also. And of course, we have Diksha Tiwari with us in Boca Bites. I don't know if she writes faster than she speaks. She can finish a book in a day's time if she wants to write. But when you're talking about what you want to write, obviously you have a lot of experiences from which you can take from and maybe write fiction or poetry. So a journalist's job is mostly serious unless you write a funny take on things. So I know you laugh a lot and you have a real funny bone inside you. But when you want to write something, will it take more of your seriousness and the serious aspects of your personality, or the more funny aspects of your personality?
I think it'll be more of the funny aspects. Because that's something that will come naturally when I write as well. See, even as a journalist, when I started my career with the New Indian Express, I think it was just like I worked there for 5 years, and then I kept reporting, and then of course My City Links came into the picture. But so I have dabbled with different genres, in terms of reporting, editing. I've done serious stories also. I've done creative reporting also. And then, building, when My Siblings was happening, that whole experience of bringing everything together and working for it, that also helped me learn a lot. But I think when it comes to, if I had to sit down and write, then I think the funny part of it would come out. I mean, I would more be a little into wit and humor and, or maybe even sarcastic if I want to be. But
Sarcastic, if you need any help, you ask.
oh yes, I have no doubts on that. I'll definitely contact you if I had to take some tips on that. But to be honest, again, I have really never given a serious thought to writing.
I think it's time to take a serious thought on writing some humorous stuff.
Yeah.
So you should do it.
I could.
Now, coming back to Ananya, is she taking away some time of yours? Okay, for the benefit of the audience, you won't have known already. Diksha is Ananya's mother. They look like sisters sometimes. But when you have a conversation with both of them off camera, you wouldn't know who's going to speak first. So we have allowed Ananya to speak first. So Ananya, we're talking about generations in writing or in the creative field. Your mother must have been an inspiration, of course. Goes without saying. Or do you have doubts about that?
Look, she's been an inspiration for me in terms of anchoring, because she's anchored so many events. So the communication, speaking aspect of it, that of course a lot of it comes from her. But writing, I wouldn't say she's she's had a huge role in that, because most of my inspiration in writing, it comes from my feelings. If I'm feeling something about a particular incident, or by observing the things around me, like the nature or even the people around me, something interesting happened. So it comes from that, and it honestly comes very naturally to me. So for writing, I wouldn't say she's had a big part.
She's
but,
being honest.
but of course,
Doesn't take away
anchoring.
anything from you.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And yes, now coming to these inspirations for writing. Now we know this technically, writing has become an easier job maybe for a lot of copywriters, for people who are in the professional field, because spell checks, grammar, those stuff. Even people struggle with that. Everybody doesn't have to be very good with the language, but they have thoughts, they have feelings. And earlier, I think people would have struggled because they would have been worried about whether they're writing the right stuff. Because I've seen lots of bad poetry long back when people would I mean, the feelings would be lost in bad, literally bad grammar and stuff like that, and people would keep on writing books and poems and all that. You had to go really deep to understand what they actually thought of. But fortunately, you have. But since, especially in poetry, now we have these apps and stuff like that, which can actually come up with instant poetry. Instant poetry. Some people are very good at instant poetry. Some people are very good at instant art also. Not everybody is. Maybe people who take years to do a piece of art or write a book or things like that with research and stuff like that. So has it crossed your mind? Okay, say we had a thesaurus earlier, as in a book form, in a print form, where if you couldn't find the right word, you look into a thesaurus. But now, even if you can't find a line, you would have that urge, okay, I'm not getting this is writer's block. Has this come into your mind, okay, let me check out. I'm not saying that something is wrong or right,
Yeah.
but why not?
I mean, it did come to my mind a few times. I've never really used AI for my writing, but I mean, there have been times when I thought, okay, just for this one line, or maybe just for these two lines, because I can't find something to rhyme with it, and then it breaks the entire flow of the poem. Should I just keep it like that? What should I do? Like, if I just give a few lines, okay, I want to write something like this, just give me one line. But then at the same time, if I show it to someone and then they appreciate me, sometimes it feels like, okay, maybe I don't completely deserve that credit. So I didn't really use it, but it's okay to use AI sometimes if you can't
I know
find
these
the
are
right
difficult
words.
times because you won't know what to use, when to use this stuff.
Exactly.
And this originality itself doesn't have any originality. I mean, if it would have taken years to write a poem or a book of poems, now it could be easier. And like you said, whether you want to take credit for it or not becomes a little difficult. But this generation, which is in your generation, forget about your generation, our generation also, attention span, deficit of attention is becoming more and more because we lead a very cluttered life in our own virtual space. Uh, but still, we are having writers coming up with more books, more poems, more songs. Everything is happening. Creativity is really on the upsurge. Aparita, I would like to ask you, do you think you feel challenged? Look, I'm writing original stuff because of my emotions. This comes from within me. And there could be someone like me wanting to be a writer and could be just doing the same thing. And they would come out with a book which you would. So, do you think that's going to be a challenge for creative people? Not necessarily writers, for everybody.
I think definitely. Because I tell you what, when I write my poetry, what I do is I put it up in ChatGPT so that I see if there would be better wordings, if there would be better rhyming words. I see that. And I see that it comes up with, I don't know, 1,000 times better than what I've written. But at the end of the day, it's still not original. It's still something that a human mind has not processed. And I interlink poetry with emotions, and emotions cannot be intertwined with robots. So, what I write, what a human writes, is always going to be something which is relatable to me, to you, to her, to everybody. But what a robot writes, they are going to put it in very beautiful words. You can use them, you can learn a lot from that. And when you do your poems the next time, when you write something the next time, maybe you can use it. But something about chat gpt and the people who use it, obviously it's going to be a challenge for creative people, but people who actually write, I think no one can beat them, not even the robots.
Exactly. Thankfully so.
Yeah.
So, what would be your next project in terms of writing?
My next
Or are you
project-
working on something?
Right now, I'm not working on something. Right now, I have been writing an article on this thing where the Indian economy had 4 phases post colonialism. and I'm studying a bit about that so that I can write how today's economy is affected by all those phases, the financial phases, the classical phases, all that. I've been digging up a little more on that.
Good. Fantastic. Diksha, as a mother, and I've asked Ananya about her thoughts, whether you have been an inspiration. Of course, you have been an inspiration, but not necessarily with her
Into
work
absolutely,
in,
yeah.
writing. But when Ananya went into writing, and as parents, everybody's worried about studies and whether how much of extracurricular or sports they should get into. So obviously, writing takes up space,
Yeah.
in terms of time and in terms of resources. I mean, she needs the space when she wants to write. So, were you worried, or you very happy that she's got into that domain?
Yeah, I think we were not worried at all, and I can say that on behalf of both of us, like dad as well. So thankfully, I think we were not really worried at all. We were in fact very happy because from a very young age we saw that she has this flair for writing, and she's absolutely right in saying, because I don't think I can write the way she can. I mean, because again, like even Aprajita said the same thing. There are different genres to writing, and as a journalist, what you write is very different from what a creative poet would write, right? I mean, we write straight. Even in journalism, a newspaper journalism, print media writing is very different from a magazine.
It has to have
Yeah,
set
exactly.
boundaries.
You have set boundaries. So I started my journalism at the age of 21. So from then I was used to a particular style of writing. That's
That
been
was
my
pre-independence.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, pre-independence or whatever. Yeah, of course. But so I don't think I have that flair for creative writing like Ananya has, and we were very happy to see that she had that kind of a flair. So when she started writing, and it's not like she was always writing, not doing her. So I think she's been that way a balanced kid. She has balanced her studies and her interest towards writing. So it didn't really worry us at all. We were, on the contrary, very happy, and we encouraged her to write because we did see that she was very passionate about it. And it's like we've gone to the beach and everybody's sitting, chatting, talking, or eating samosas and tea, and she's looking at the sea and she's writing something. She'll just write down something in her phone. So we realized that, and from a very young age, she's been doing things like that, observing nature and writing something, 4-5 lines. So it always felt good. And so when she decided that she wants to come up with this book along with Snehali, her friend, we were all up for it. I said, okay, sure, go ahead. We are here to support you in whatever way we can. So
what kind of advice would you see? You're in any way in the creative field, so maybe it would have been easier for you to connect.
Connect,
With
yes.
Ananya and her friend. But there are a lot of people, parents, because they have never got into that genre. Everybody has a creative aspect in their lives, but because of whatever pressure in life, social or work, they have never got into maybe filmmaking and stuff like that. But suddenly, the next generation, somebody wants to play the guitar or become a rock star or a poet and all that. What would you advise to those parents who get very worried that
that will sort of deviate them from their education path? And see, it's it's difficult to say. I mean, I don't know if I'm the right person to advise, because I get it. Every parent thinks differently. They have their different perception towards how they want their child to proceed in their career. And it's also a fact. I mean, the concern also stems from the fact that in creative lines like that, when you're pursuing a career out of it, it might take time for you to make a mark or earn that kind of, because it's challenging. We all know that. We come from that field, so we know that it's not that easy. So I understand that, and I respect that perspective of a parent. But I mean, personally for me, I think, if I have to think as a parent, I think I'm very open to the idea of, if Ananya even tomorrow, if she decides that she wants to get into this full time, I would encourage her. I would be someone who will back it up, because it's okay, because then she's following her heart. She wants to do something, and when you do something which you are interested in, you're passionate about, you'll automatically, I think, enjoy it. I would rather want her to do something in her life which she's enjoying, rather than getting into a job just for the heck of earning money, or
But the good part of writing is, of course, full-time writing has its own blessings.
Yes.
But good part of writing is you can do so many things and also write.
Right.
If you
Absolutely.
can manage
Absolutely.
stuff, that's the
Absolutely.
good part of writing.
Absolutely.
Especially poetry, you can do things in between while you're working. And
Exactly.
stuff
Yeah.
like that. So, what about your family, Aparita? How did your family support, or did you have any issues?
My family, they've all been very supportive. I think none of them are, into this field of poetry. But I tell you, my maternal grandfather, he was a great person and a great poet. He used to do poetry in 3 languages: Odia, Hindi, English.
Wow.
Three languages. And he was absolutely brilliant. I think that is where I inherited from. He's no longer with us, and I miss that a lot because I remember even as a kid, he used to, if it would be drizzling and there would be a drop of rain dripping from a leaf, he'd make a poetry out of that, and that used to sound absolutely magical to me. So I think
No, that reminds me, my maternal grandfather, who passed away at the age of 100, and
Wow.
had many life challenges because he had 8 kids, and my maternal grandmother passed away very early in life. But I think something made him survive till 100 was his writing. Not all his books were published because he kept on writing. He was a prolific writer. But he was like, and he was always pushing me, "Mo bhai, publish kariyu." So I said, it's getting so big, it will be tough. And he was a very jovial person. So I think writing is something which actually can take you ahead in life in so many ways.
Yeah.
so many ways.
Now this whole journaling thing of psychiatric support is happening. Writing for yourself, writing your
Thoughts.
own thoughts and stuff like that. So any language, I would believe, any language you're comfortable in and you're not being judged. So you can keep on writing. That would be my
Yeah,
perspective
yeah.
of things. So coming to books, and we are in bookstore. We have books of all kinds here. Like we have got books in Odia, Hindi languages. We've got poetry and short stories, romance, general fiction, fantasy, psychological thrillers. What is your genre of reading, Ananya? What do you like reading?
I would say either psychological thrillers or horror. Mainly thrillers.
Have you read The Hunting Party?
No, I haven't. Actually, I'm very recent to reading. I've always liked writing, but I was not exactly a very avid reader. Since I think it's just been 2 or 3 years that I started reading a bit more frequently. So the first genre that actually interested me a lot was thriller. So till now I've been sticking to that. I'm trying to expand my horizons, but I keep going back to psychological thrillers.
So, given a choice, would you watch a horror or thriller film, or read a book?
I mean, I do watch movies more.
Films are easier.
Yeah. I prefer the writing part than the reading part.
I
But,
understand. That's what I'm asking. So, have you seen any of these Alfred Hitchcock movies, which are
Absolutely.
so
Wonderful.
old or but so well made? Have you watched any of those movies?
I don't really think so. I mean, not yet.
Because it may not be the kind of technology which we are seeing, but the kind of thought which goes into movies. Writing, of course, doesn't have any boundaries like that.
Yeah.
Unlike films, because there's ChatGPT and technologies which is going to help you. What 100 years ago somebody was writing, you have the same tools actually to write. You use a
Sure,
pen,
exactly.
pencil, or typewriter, or a computer. So I think that's one place where technology actually has not completely taken in, unless you take these apps and books. What is your generation? You have friends, who are not necessarily everybody is into writing. Maybe you would be an inspiration to a lot of in your generation. So, what kind of format of films does your generation, kids of your generation, like, other than the web series and Netflix, whatever other?
I mean, it honestly depends on the individual, like what kind of thought processes they have. Like, there are people in my friend groups that some of them like reading a lot. Like, they'll watch movies, but they also read a lot because it helps them to imagine the scenario as they're reading it. There are some who like documentaries more than regular films. And then there are just most of us, the other ones, who prefer watching a movie just for the sake of entertainment. Like, we'll watch it, it's done, and then okay, back to whatever we were doing. So just for the sake of entertainment and time pass, we'd prefer just short movies and everything.
Now tell me, since you're into writing, and people usually, especially if you're writing poems, people must be thinking Ananya must be of those serious kinds, you know, Nikhaka, copy types. So does that you enjoy that kind of perspective which people would be having? I'm not very sure.
I mean, it's not exactly that serious kind of thing, but if somebody reads my writing and some of them are a bit intense, so the first question is, are you okay? Are you okay? Don't worry, I'm okay. It's just a...
You got over it, so that's right.
And it's you write whatever you feel, and sometimes it's not a very serious thought, like a very disturbing thought, but it could just be a momentary feeling, that a fleeting thought. You just write it down and then you try to understand it. You've written it, it helps you understand yourself. It helps you figure out, okay, this is what I was feeling, and it helps you deal nicely. But then a lot of the times people appreciate it, but then they're like, is something wrong? Are you okay? I am okay, don't worry.
You read the book before your coffee gets cold? Your coffee is getting cold. You should read that book. It's a very interesting
It's a very interesting.
So, I bought that from Boca Bookstore, okay? Keeping on pushing the book.
Of course.
So, Aparita, when I first saw you, I realized you must be a serious person. So, what do you think? What do others think about you?
I think they do think that I'm very intense, but I'm not. And I enjoy that duality. I enjoy being that mysterious when people perceive you as something else, but you are something else. So you exist at two spaces all at once. I enjoy
Diksha,
that.
you must be not having that problem.
No,
Nobody-
not at all.
Never.
Never ever.
Has this ever happened? No, that was
No, never ever.
So nobody has taken you seriously.
Nobody has. That's the story of my life. So
Good, Ananya. Please take her seriously.
She's exactly what she looks like.
Okay, now coming back to movies and reading. So, what are you reading nowadays? Other than those presenter scripts?
no, I'm not reading anything currently. It gets difficult, to be honest. I've been thinking of starting something, a book or something, but it's been very difficult because I multitask because there's my job as with the French Business School, my anchoring assignments. There are a lot of things. Then you have to balance responsibilities at home, your parents. There's that, so it gets very difficult to take out that time to sit and read. But again, I would say it's also an excuse in a way, because I do take out time to watch a movie.
I know.
So because I have been a movie buff all my life. I mean, anybody who knows me,
Bollywood.
yes, anybody who knows me knows it very well that I am heavily influenced by Bollywood. I'm like a chalta firta in Bollywood.
So, which was
Whatever.
the last Bollywood movie you watched? The watchable kinds.
Watchable kind is that makes it
I said somehow.
that makes it tricky. But what was that? That was, I think, it was okay. The Rajkumar recent whatever
Bhul
Bhul
Chuk
Chuk Maaf.
Maaf.
Yeah, that was the last movie Bollywood. It was okay. I mean,
So,
watchable, sort of
out of
watchable.
5 stars, how much would you give it?
2.
2.
Yeah.
Still, you sat.
Yeah,
through-
I can sit through the ones which are negative also. So 2 is pretty. I mean, I can watch. I just give me any Bollywood movie, I'll still
I
watch
think
it.
it makes some time to read a book that would be better than what
I know. This is what I've been
Negative
advised by.
stars.
This is what I've been advised by a lot of well-wishers, that instead of wasting your time on Netflix and chill, just read a book. But I end up going back to
So if you
movies.
need to buy a book from Boca Bookstore today, what genre would you recommend?
Thriller again. I mean, I think she's gotten it from me. When I used to read as well. I mean, I started with, of course, the what was it, Famous Five and Nancy Drews and all. But then I was heavily into Sidney Sheldon for a long period of time during my college. I think I had finished each and every book that was there, and some of them I repeated, and I was getting so good at it that halfway through I would know, okay, this is how the plot is, so I was always interested in thriller, and if I had to pick up another book today also, it would be a thriller for sure.
Devi here in Boca Bookstore will help you.
Sure.
Take
I
some
think
books.
I was helped the very first time I was here, and I did make a purchase just to, and also please,
Do you remember the book?
It was suggested and I bought for my daughter. So
Okay,
I'm sorry.
okay.
I remember,
We'll edit
it's okay,
this
I
part.
remember.
Yeah.
If she remember, that's fine.
Yeah, she remembers.
I read it.
So did you read the book?
No, it was for her.
I read it.
It was for her.
That's a good job.
Yeah, yeah, it was for
On its own.
her, not for me.
So we all know Diksha is a great presenter. So I have been feeling a bit nervous since the beginning of this because I may be asking the wrong questions.
So I just wanted to say, when you had asked the other question about sarcasm, you had thought of you thought of implementing it during this episode. Okay,
so we,
but
let's change places, not literally.
Okay.
Because that's going to be a problem with the camera. Whatever. We don't want to take any risks on that.
okay,
So now you are the presenter.
all right,
You can ask only both of them questions. If
Okay.
you want, you can ask me 1 or 2 questions.
okay,
Since we are handling the production, I can edit it later.
okay. that's a good one. That's a good one. So
let's,
yeah, I mean, so I have a few questions, but before I ask them, because my first question obviously goes to Sanu. You have been someone who's actually, on a very serious note, an inspiration for a lot of young people. Even for me, I would say I've learned a lot from you.
You said young
In
people.
terms. Okay, we'll please edit that part of it for sure. Okay, but no, I was not there. I mean, for me, I said, but
When you were
of course, yeah, when I was young. Okay, I stand corrected. When I was young, and even now when I'm old, Sanu continues to older. Yes, and when I'm older, Sanu continues to be an inspiration. So tell me, when you interview these young people today, and what do you learn from that? What's your takeaway when you are doing these kind of interviews?
See, fortunately, unfortunately, I have been doing this sort of interviewing since a very long time. I have that good fortune of interviewing Mandira Bedi and Ravi Shastri, who are the typical presenters when they were at their peak, maybe 15-20 years back. So I was not very nervous because people didn't have ways of research. I found many ways of doing research. So that was my take, because I've been into quizzing, so a bit of general knowledge was there and interest was there. But young people, I'm worried. Because two things. You are not sure whether they know more than you or don't know anything at all.
That's a good one. I would definitely say that's a good one. Relatable.
In our whole field of work, there are some things they obviously know more than you, and there are some things which they don't want to know because they don't need to know. So when working with young people, interviewing them, or collaborating with young generation, I have 2 kids who are teenagers, so I know how tough it is to relate to them. But you learn so much from them.
True.
Because I think the level of maturity, and these 2 girls are anyway pretty mature, because they're an inspiration to so many people, because they've taken a space where people would aspire to but cannot. Will have a lot of difficulty because of the clutter of social media and what the challenges are. So young people obviously need to learn what they are thinking, the way they are going, because that's the future, and we have to keep pace with their thoughts and their ideas, and otherwise we are going to be redundant if we are not already.
Yeah, I get it. In fact, just going back to these 2 girls, because you just said that. So, I don't think when we were of their age, we could have thought of something like this, or even I don't think at that point our parents had that kind of a mindset to encourage us to do something as creative as this at that, during those days. So I think that's commendable for both of you. But we'll make it some fun questions now, because this is what Boca Bites is also all about. So I have some fun questions for both of you, which is, so do we have some flags here? Yeah, so yes, we have a red flag and we have a green flag.
Oops.
So these are red flag and green flag questions.
Oops.
So, okay. So you have these flags with you now. So I'll ask you some questions, and you both need to,
Raise the flag.
Yes, raise the flag. If
One
it's a red flag,
flags or what?
it's either a red flag or a green flag for them. So they'll have to. Yes, you have both the colors. You have both the colors.
I'm also learning.
Yes. Okay. So a lot of this question is, I believe some of them are not exactly customized for poets, but I would still test that for both of you. So the first one. Yes.
What does the red flag denote? And what does
Red
it
flag
mean?
is
Okay.
something that is
Learn from them.
berated, not something that you would appreciate. It's not good for you.
Brilliant, thanks.
Green flag is
See?
Good thing. Green
Good
flags
to
are
go.
good.
Both of you on the same page on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, mostly I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's it's used for on social media for even, I think, a lot of these young people when they have to rate a boy or a girl. I think that's the current lingo. Oh, he's a red flag. You know.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
That's
You're all
Like
learning.
I believe, yeah, the movie, what was it? Kabir.
Absolute
Yes,
red
Kabir
flag.
Singh was. Everybody was like, everybody suddenly on social media. You look up, Kabir Singh. That's a red flag. That's a red flag. So that's how you get to know.
Yeah, I got it now. I
Yeah.
can relate.
See, I've given you with examples. Okay, coming back to this. So write an entire scene in the head, but never type it. Okay. Starts a new notebook every week. Okay. Only edits when the mood is right.
Green flag.
Okay. You'll have to be quick. Uses AI for title suggestions. Both. Okay.
With titles, sometimes you can't find the right words.
Okay. Deletes drafts without reading. DMS authors on Instagram for advice. Writing at 2 a.m. with sad music. Now this is something. Now this is interesting. I would like to take on that, a little detailed take on that from both of you as young people. I don't know what is it about sad music and writing, but music inspires, of course. It does for,
But what
for
is sad
everyone.
music?
Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
It sounds sad, or it is wordings are sad? What
Please, what's sad music for you?
Sad music. It's not sad music. It's like slow rhythm blues, more like Pink Floyd, something like that.
And why does it inspire you to write at 2 a.m.? Why such a big green flag for that?
Because it gives me a sense of something is happening, something dark is happening, and the music is inspiring. The music is whirling around me. And it's like, yeah, I can write dark,
It gets you in the right mood.
It gets you in the right mood.
Yeah, it
Pink
gets you in
Floyd was
the
before
frame
its
of mind.
time.
to
Yeah.
I mean,
The
I
dark
always
side of
thought
the
you have to
moon
be
and
happy to be in the right mood. I never knew that,
No,
sad is also a right mood.
Creativity comes
Interesting.
from every kind of mood, right? So,
And especially sad mood.
especially sad mood. Yeah.
Okay, that's a learning experience here. So, using real life crush as a character inspiration. Okay, we'll discuss that with your dad later. Because Sanu,
After
you
it
lost.
crushed,
Sanu is a little
while you're
lost
getting
here.
crushed. So how will you-
Okay, so plotting the ending first before writing chapter 1. It's
Either you raise it or you don't.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Raise it. Okay, so I mean, red flag. I get it. Why a green flag for that?
Look, sometimes you start from the end, like you just get an idea that okay, this would be a really good scene for the ending, but then you're like, okay, now I'll have to build the story. I'll have to build something completely, around what I thought for the ending. So it happens sometimes. Like you don't always get ideas in a proper sequence. It could be just here and there.
Okay,
Like,
all
you
right,
start from
fair
the end
enough.
Sometimes.
Fair enough. Writes emotional scenes while crying.
So you, while crying, you can write.
How I can't see anything.
Ananya, we will appreciate if you show the flags correctly. Yes. Okay, so that's both. So you're saying that as you cry, you can also write?
Have you
Okay.
seen her doing that?
No,
No, I
I don't
haven't.
usually cry while writing, but
Yeah, I
Or when
haven't.
She's watching.
I don't.
But how do you
usually.
do that? Isn't it all blurry?
You don't have to like completely.
That's a sensible question.
Bawling your eyes out,
We're,
not
we're-
like that.
we're getting very technical about that.
I mean, you don't have to be bawling your eyes out.
Okay, calls writing a hobby, not a career. Yeah,
Please.
I get it.
Complete.
All right, I think that was interesting, and I would there's something called a rapid fire round. I think you should because given the fact that you appeared so
Please
clueless
get that.
while this red flag and green flag was going on, I would love to see you asking these rapid fire questions.
But how rapid?
What
is it?
are
Yeah, it has to be
The
very
questions
rapid.
have to be rapid. The answer.
Both.
Yeah, the questions have to be
It's like
rapid and the
coffee with
answers. Yeah,
You take note, huh?
I'm taking note. Yes.
POV or captions?
POV.
POVs.
Jor ko.
POVs.
POV both.
You have to be louder.
Louder. Like
Yes.
her.
Exactly.
Extremely.
One book that changed your life.
Silent patient.
Silent?
Silent patient.
Silent patient, yes.
It would be The Bell Jar.
The Bell Jar. Okay, great. Silent patient, Bell Jar. Worst writing advice you ever received?
There's nothing called a writer's block. I mean, some people say there's nothing called a writer's block. You just have to keep writing. No, even the best writers, they sometimes get confused. They sometimes get stuck on something. It happens.
Fantastic answer, yes. What about you?
Write early in the morning. How am I supposed to do that? I don't even wake up early in the morning. That's a little impossible for me.
A character you would bring to life. Maybe something you have read obviously. Or...
It's a rapid fire. You guys are taking too much of time.
For me, it would be Elizabeth from Pride and Prejudice.
Prime Minister Elizabeth.
Okay, she's a feminist, so I relate a lot there.
Wow. What about
Interesting.
you, Ananya?
I think it would be a character. There's this character in a book called Shadowhunters. It's a series, but there it was inspired from books. I've read the books. There would be the male protagonist in that.
Okay. You'll invite the person to Boca for coffee.
Why not? Why not?
It'd be great to have Elizabeth here. It's an honor.
With the attire.
Yes. Okay. Writing with pen or typing all the way? Pen, pencil.
Pen. Pen. Pen it is.
Both of you like writing with a pen?
On the paper, yes.
If I'm at home, yes, but if I'm like outside somewhere, suddenly something strikes and I have to jot it down, then whatever's there around me, paper, pen, phone, whatever's there.
But mostly you would prefer to write.
Mostly in paper, pen.
Morning muse or midnight writer?
Midnight
Midnight.
writing.
Both of you.
Both.
Okay.
That's with the entire generation, I believe.
So it's like post midnight. How long? I mean, when does it spark?
I think till 3 o'clock, the very right time when the ghosts come.
There have been times I just went to sleep. I wrote something, I went to sleep, but then I have to continue it or I have to write something. I woke up from the bed and like, wait, mummy, ruko. Mujhe likhne do. I'll just write.
Yeah,
3
she does
lines.
that. She does that. She's like in the middle of the night. She's like, okay, I have to go back again and have to do this.
How
I said, okay.
interesting. Would you let your main character date your best friend?
No, no. My main character needs a lot of development. No.
Nice answer. What about you?
Same. No.
Okay, never. Most used word, maybe in writing, most used word by you.
I think I use the word ethereal a lot. Even if it's something sad, I use the word ethereal a lot.
Okay. What about you?
I don't really have a word like that which I've used a lot. Like I write in phases. If there's something like I'm writing about moonlight or something, then suddenly I realize that there are 2 to 3 continuous back-to-back poems where I've used the word moonlit a lot. It goes in phases. There's no particular word like that.
Wow.
Okay.
Good.
So that was it for the rapid fire.
That's quite tough.
So yeah, the tough one. We'll continue one last with this so that it brings out the creativity in the two of you. So I'll give you 3 words to each of you, maybe two rounds each, and you have to come up with a 30-second plot. Okay, so I'll give you 3 words and you come with the plot out of it, but you have to be quick. Okay, not too much of time with this. So I'll start with Aprajita. Your 3 words are cat, phone, rooftop.
What do I have to do again?
So you just build a 30-second plot like a story. If you had to do a
Or
story
maybe a poem
with,
also. If
yeah, I
it's
mean you could.
instead
It can be a poem as well. Yeah, need not be just a story. It can be a poem as
So
well.
there's a cat.
There's a phone and there's a rooftop.
There's a phone.
Yeah,
Okay.
and there's a rooftop.
Okay. So there is this one house in the middle of the forest, and it's raining. It's raining cats and dogs.
Okay.
And there is this one white cat which likes to sit on furs. It does not like wet surroundings. So
Okay.
it finds this haunted place, this place where there is nothing but darkness. But there is this one phone which has, there's this phone, and there are a lot of furry things, comfortable things which are there. And suddenly, when the cat enters the house, the phone starts ringing, and the lights are all lit.
Okay.
Okay, and the cat, of course, it's confused, and it skips the house, goes to the rooftop, and then it sees that there is a witch riding her broom, and this witch, it's actually that witch's house. So she
Okay.
comes back now. Now she sees the cat. Now she tries to woo this cat away. But this cat somehow adores this witch. And that's how this witch and this cat, they bond. And that's how the story of the witch and the cat goes by for centuries and centuries.
That's
What about the
interesting.
telephone? What's happening to it?
It keeps ringing. That drove the cat away.
Good one. Not bad at all. Very, very nice. Okay. Time for you. Okay, I've got one with for Ananya, but yeah, I won't go with I just saw another one with dog, but that'll be too similar, cat and then dog. So we'll go with girl, key, and treehouse.
Girl, Key, and Treehouse. Okay. So, there's this girl. She's just had a fight with her friends. She's very upset, and she's just wandering around the neighborhood, and suddenly she finds this key, a huge shining key lying around, and then she wonders. It's so bright. How has nobody noticed it? Why am I the only person noticing it? She picks it up. She moves around trying to find a place. Okay, if somebody lost it or something, and then she finds this huge door. She uses the key, unlocks the place, and when she enters, there's this entire area full of greenery, full of beautiful flowers, animals around. And then in the center of it all, there's a tree house. She enters it, and there's everything she likes. It's like her dream place, and she just sits there for hours enjoying, and then comes back, keeps the key with her, decided that's her secret place, her secret hideout.
Okay.
And then,
Alright.
and then when she enters that tree house,
Uh-huh.
she finds that there is a supernatural purgatory there. So
Okay.
that she can enter into the next realm if she crosses that tree house.
Okay.
She can see new people.
We can make this a good story. She finds keys everywhere. There's keys in different levels of it. Like
But what
there's a
happened to
key.
the cat?
The cat is doing meow
I'm
meow.
still worried about the cat.
The cat is
This
doing
how
a meow
interesting
meow
it is.
and
This is
yeah,
how
exactly.
storytelling is.
Yeah.
3 words when they start speaking that we are all imagining. They are also imagining. We are also imagining. Sometimes they're wondering which key wherever it's going.
What happened to the
this
cat?
is about what happened to
Okay,
the
she
cat.
can just use one of the
So
keys to go to the
storytelling
witch.
can be so interesting. So is poetry. And what's next?
Maybe we can ask a couple of questions if
To the
somebody
audience.
from the if someone from the audience would like to ask a couple of questions, we could do that.
Hello. Hi.
So, what's your favorite book?
My favorite book, I think I would say, have you heard of this author? He's a Russian author, Fyodor Dostoevsky.
Dostoevsky, yes.
So he's written this book. What's that book's name?
White Knights, Crime and Punishment.
He was the lawyer who lent a lot of
No,
money.
Franz Kafka.
How am I forgetting my favorite book's name?
On this
Yeah, that's the problem with me.
He's this lawyer. He is in a dilemma. He's in a psychological dilemma where he has lent a lot of money from a lot of people. But he has to study because he's very passionate about his studying. But what he doesn't understand is when he's choosing a path, he's confused with his moral dilemma. What is right, what is wrong? That is imbalancing him.
It's something related to underground.
It's a great book, but not that one.
Okay. What's your favorite book,
It
Ananya?
would be Silent Patient. I mean, I answered the same before as well, but that's because that is the book which actually got me into reading because I love thrillers. Even for movies, my favorite genre would be horror, thriller, psychological thrillers. So that was the book which actually inspired me to, books are fun. I could read more. So it would be that. I love the book.
I
I
remember
love how
the
deep
book.
it is.
I remember my book's name. It's Crime and Punishment.
Crime.
Yeah.
Okay.
Inspires you the most while writing your poems?
What inspires me the most is everything around me. I'm a very feely person.
Anything particular?
Particular, I'd say when I interact with people and there are emotions involved, I think those emotions help me write.
Yeah, for me it would be pretty similar. Like, all the things around me, the people around me, the incidents taking place around me. If I find something which it just strikes me, something clicks with you. You're looking at people, and there's someone doing something very interesting, and then I can interpret it. Okay, what is this person doing? What could this person be feeling? The nature around me. Mainly, it's nature. Most of my poems. Have been from elements of nature, but recently I've tried writing, observing people, learning from them, and so yeah.
Thank you.
Like it's for Ananya only. Like as you are youngest one, like you are doing it in a as a wonderful future. For that, I'm congratulating you from now. And like, how do you handle the timing over the writing? Because timing is the biggest problem. Like how we handle time.
Okay, so the writing process of it is not that difficult for me when it comes to time management, because I usually write when I feel like it. I have to be in a certain frame of mind. Something has to click within me for me to actually write something. The difficult part was making the book, the process of making the draft and everything. That was difficult. That took a lot of time because, especially since we were, co-authors. So I had to go to her house. We had to spend a lot of time typing everything. That was difficult because 11th, 12th, as we know, those are important periods.
So it was really incredible because of incredible people like you, which have made Boca Bites so interesting. And something new is happening in Boca bookstore. There's so much of Boca stuff going Boca bookstore, Boca Bites. Oh, you said it,
Holics.
Boca Holics.
Yes.
Boca Holics is a new Boca book club because you know more about it when you actually log on to Boca website or it's there. You can, of course, contact us at bocabookstore@gmail.com. Please read what's written. And it's going to be very interesting. 3 of you are already Boca-holic members. Okay. So it was fun talking to you, and I'm sure now you're going to come more often to Boca because of the bookstore, and we'll have more sessions like this. And it's a club which is happening with people who read books, buy books, and who also come to Boca Bites. So you are like our, the fraternity which also advertises, thankfully, about books, about writing and reading. So Diksha, Aparijita, Ananya, formal thank you from Boca and my siblings. And Ananya, before you leave, what did you learn from the Boca Bites? What bite do you take back?
Okay. So what I learned, when all three of us spoke, I saw that clearly we have so many different opinions about the writing aspect, about reading. There are some things which are very similar, and then we have a lot of different opinions. So that's what I learned. When it comes to writing, when it comes to poetry or reading, there's no right and wrong. There's no black and white. Everybody has their own interpretations, their own ideology about things, and that is perfect.
Shades of grey.
Exactly. It's perfectly fine for everybody. There's no such thing that someone can't write or anything, because it's your own point of view. You write what you feel. You interpret things on your own.
So you're happy with your mom's performance in this? No, it's not a very formal thing. We all enjoyed. I'm sure she did.
Yeah, I did. I absolutely did. And I think even what on a serious note, I did learn a lot from both of them. I mean, from Ananya, I always find it very inspiring when she writes. Not saying this as a mother, but even as a reader, I think it's really nice for when I see someone young being able to pen their thoughts so clearly, because I don't think I have that kind of command over my thoughts, that I can put it so beautifully. And same for Aprajita. I think she spoke with so much of confidence when she was talking about different aspects of her writing.
So what I've taken from here is the experience that you both bring to the floor. I mean, it's incredible, and I feel really honored to be sitting here interacting with you. I've met with her before in OLF, and I'm meeting Sir for the very first time. And the way you interview, the way you talk, it's really inspiring, honestly. Here I was sitting, and I honestly was nervous when I saw the getup, and I was like, what is happening? But then you talked, and that put me at ease. And ma'am, she talked a lot with me, and I know her experience. I've been seeing her, I've been friends with her daughter. So this is what I take the experience, you both and Ananya, as a very lovely junior that she gives me. And all these lovely people who are sitting here, being so supportive, asking
Laughing
us
at the right
questions.
times.
Yeah.
All the everyone, the crew, everything. Thank you so much. It was an incredible experience.
Yes,
Thank
all of
you,
you have
thank
been
you.
incredible. People watching this, I don't know what do you call these things now, podcasts, interviews, chat shows,
Yeah.
or what. We're getting confused with it. But this was so nice. It was so nice, like it always is. And three of you made it incredible. Our crew, our audience, everybody has made it nice. So Boca Bites, a lot of takeaways from Boca Bites. So we can enjoy some food and coffee or whatever.
Absolutely,
after
I'm
this.
game for it.
So we'll see you in the next edition of Boca Bites with some new people, interesting subjects. Till then, bye.